Now look at this article. As the title itself hints, this article talks about a frog species. After 120 years, it has reappeared, and this rare species has resurfaced in South America. So from Prim's perspective, we have to learn about the characteristics of these frog species, because commonly in the UPSC current pattern, if you're seeing, there are a lot of questions that arises from general characteristics of a particular animal or a particular species. For example, they asked about marsupials, they asked about squirrels, they asked about elephants. So likewise, these questions might be asked. So one of such topic is this, and that is why we have chosen this article. From the exam perspective, this syllabus, when you are taking under prelims, it comes under biodiversity, ecology and conservation, and under mains GS paper 3, relevant topic includes environment and conservation. Now we shall start with the species overview. So the scientific name is given here, it is not that important, but remember it is a frog species, and a very common name is Malleco Spiny-chest Frog. So it was first discovered by Rudolph, and it is endemic to Chile, South America. Now moving on, we shall see about the habitat and appearance. It is isolated mountain streams. It is found in isolated mountain streams in Chile. And when we talk about the appearance, adult males, they will be having light brown with yellow or green hose to olive brown. And when we talk about the juveniles, that is the smaller one or the younger one, they have darker brown skin tone, and they have distinctly yellowish stripes on the back, which varies in prominence. So these are all the very basic appearance characteristics. Talking about the genetic and conservation insights, so genetically they are closely related to a frog species found in Argentina. And talking about their conservation category, they have been downgraded from critically endangered to endangered, which means a lot of conservation is required for this particular species. Now moving on, we shall see about the threats for their survival. Firstly, deforestation. So due to deforestation, their natural habitat has been lost. Secondly, expansion of the livestock grazing. So what happens during livestock grazing is the spreading of forest itself will diminish, because these livestock, they only feed on the crops that are accessible to their height. So this leads to habitat destruction without even knowing. Similarly, invasive species, a lot of invasive species that has been newly introduced into the environment poses a threat to the natural habitat for the species. So this leads to increase in predator on tadpoles. So the population of this particular frogs is automatically controlled. And finally, climate change, temperature variation affecting the breeds as well as survival. A very good example for temperature affecting breeding is, you can take olive ridley turtles. So they will be they will be burying a very big, they will be digging a very big hole, and they will be burying their eggs under the hole. So based on the temperature surrounding that hole, only the sex of that particular egg will be determined. So likewise, this particular species survival is also based on temperature, and their breeding is also based on temperature. Now moving on, we can see about the conservation measures that has been taken. Firstly, for protecting the habitat, a lot of legal safeguards should be brought in, particularly in that country. And we have to bring in a lot of control over invasive species, and for that we have to manage introducing a trout population. And thirdly, we have to bring in a lot of climate adaptation strategies. So this will help in conservation breeding and habitat restoration as well. And finally, we have to bring in global collaboration. This can be done by initiating research and funding for amphibian conservation. So because these amphibian conservation is the least concern when it comes to the species control or conservation. So we have to give a more focus with collaboration. So based on the topic discussed, I have just framed a question for you. Here the correct answer for the particular question is option D, all the above.